never fucking had it.
Shut
No way.
Never fucking
No
had it.
way.
Like, Austin, you trying to tell us something else right now?
All that experience, all that emotions, all the things that happen in that one life is boiled down to what we call instinct. And that's the only thing we can bring over to the next life.
You won't be hanged. You'll be canceled.
Coincidence? Coincidence? Coincidence. There cannot be three. All right. Hello and welcome to the Collective Minds podcast. We are back. This is episode Dirty 39. Please like, subscribe, comment 5 stars, or whatever else that makes you happy. We are all about it, boys. You guys get to guess because I have not told you the topic of today. So we are known for the mysteries, conspiracies, crime, and politics. And we also talk about survival. So guys, I want to hear your guesses. What are we talking about today?
Princess Diana is alive.
Nope.
Shoot. Okay.
Well, let's do topics first. So let's do topics. Mysteries, conspiracies, crime, politics, or survival.
Cryptid?
Mysteries, conspiracies, crime, politics, or survival. Pick one of those.
Survival?
No. So survival's off. So Ledger, mysteries, conspiracies, crime, or politics?
Mysteries.
No. So Jay, conspiracies, crime, or politics?
Crime.
Ah, dun dun dun. He got it. Boys, today we are talking about crime. We are. What was that?
So I knew it was going to be crime.
Oh,
That's one of the ones that I don't want to do.
That's one of the ones you don't want to do? Oh,
I'd rather do like mystery or something.
Do what?
Mystery. I don't know.
Well, this is a fun one, I promise you, Ledger. Don't get all down in the dumb shit, all right? So, guys, we are back to serial killers, all right? But we're going at it at a different angle, okay? We're going to do serial killers of today that are still out there, still killing, and still unknown about. You could possibly walk by them any day. What do you think about that, boys?
Cool.
Definitely possible.
Definitely possible. That's a fact, buddy. So, if you guys were to guess, how many serial killers in the United States do you guys think there are active right now?
1,630 and a half. One of them's
1,630 and a half. One's in a wheelchair?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
I was going to say, one is in a midget.
No, yeah, he is a midget, you knew it.
A little person serial killer? That shit's made of nightmares, guys. How many do you think, Jay?
33.
There you go. So, you're both, of course, wrong. Ledger's
Hey, can I tell you something about the midget serial killer?
Yeah, go ahead. Shoot.
He was actually like he's kind of more of like a toy. He has red hair.
Is his name Chucky?
His name's Chucky. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is that
Wait.
real?
Isn't that the Raiders owner? The owner of the Raiders?
Yeah. That's his day job.
Oh no, now he's gonna come for you, Jay. You called him out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got some facts about that for you guys. Serial killer facts. Here we go. The Murder Accountability Project is a nonprofit organization that catalogs and analyzes data on murders. With a focus on the unsolved homicides, founder Thomas Hargrove believes that serial killers account for at least 2% of the present-day murder rate. So 2% of all murders is what they believe is caused by a serial killer. That's insane. So this would put the number of unidentified serial killers operating in the U.S. somewhere between 2,100. However, former police detective and author of a dozen books on serial murder, Michael Arntfield, suspects that number could be closer to double that, around 4,000 currently active serial killers.
Hey Jay. I was closer.
Yeah, you were.
While it's impossible to pinpoint an exact number of active serial killers in the U.S. today, one thing is clear. While there may not be as many as there used to be, they are most certainly still out there and may have only gotten better at eluding capture. After all, serial killers of today are able to learn from their predatory predecessors. What do y'all think about that? It's quite possible that there's 4,000 serial killers active today, 2022, in the U.S.
Was Bonnie and Clyde serial killers? No, they're robbers, right?
Those were spree killers.
Bonnie and Clyde?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where you go
Oh.
on a quick spree. You could be robbing or whatever, but it's a spree killer. Serial killers are more of a system. You know, they usually hide the bodies and stuff, or, you know, at least to an extent, they could portray them for the police, you know, signatures, all that stuff. It's more like they usually don't kill a bunch, but it does speed up. So they'll start one, and then it could be years later, they do it again, and then it's like a year later, and then months later, and then it's every month, and then it's weeks, and then doing it every other day. That's pretty much how serial killers are. The spree killers, they do it. It's like a heyday weekend or week or two of just killing everyone they come in contact with. Pretty much, not everyone. Pretty close.
I thought Bonnie and Clyde were like robbers.
Yeah, but I think they're technically spree killers because they were on a robbing, killing spree. I might be wrong. You guys might fact check me on that. But serial killers work in a specific kind of way. Bonnie and Clyde don't fit that certain kind of way. Any other smart remarks you got for me, Ledger?
What?
All right, boys, so let's get into it. Number 1, Tube Sock Killer of 1985. On August 10th, 1985, Stephen Harkins, 27, and his girlfriend, Ruth Cooper, 42, left their Tacoma, Washington home for a weekend camping trip at Tule Lake in Pierce County. When the two did not return to their jobs at a Tacoma vocational school the following Monday, their families reported them missing. 4 days later, on August 14th, hikers passing through Pierce County, found Harkins' body near a remote campsite. He had been shot in the head, and his body, still in a sleeping bag, suggested he had been murdered while sleeping. Nearby, searchers also found Harkins and Cooper's pet dog, who had also been shot to death. At the time, law enforcement suspected that the case may have been connected to the murders of Edward Smith and Kimberly Diane Levine, a couple from Kent, Washington, who were abducted, murdered, and disposed of in a gravel pit near the Columbia River in March 1985. On October 26th, a skull was found at the dead end of 8th Avenue South near Harts Lake, about 1.5 miles from where Harkins' body was found. Dental records confirmed the skull belonged to Cooper, and 2 days later, on October 28th, her body and her purse were also recovered from the area, only 50 feet from where her skull had been found. A tube sock had been tied around Cooper's neck. According to the autopsy, Cooper had died of homicidal violence, though a spokesman later stated she had died of a gunshot wound to the abdomen. After the discovery of Cooper, the murders were publicized by Crime Stoppers in an attempt to recover information leading to the arrest of those responsible.
So,
Go ahead.
that's kind of the Columbia River and Tacoma. That's kind of near where we live.
Very close. That's why this is like one of my favorite ones to tell people about. People don't know that this happened very mysteriously and very violently, and it was a long time ago, but not that long ago, if you think about it. And it happened. We don't know who was involved, how many, what's going on, but it continues. So over a month after the discovery of Ruth Cooper, on December 12, 1985, Mike Reamer, 36, and his girlfriend Diana Robertson, 21, and their daughter, Crystal Louise Robertson, age 2, traveled from their Tacoma home to Pierce County, planning to find a campsite near the Nisqually River. Reamer, an animal trapper, also planned to check on traps he had set in the area. Later that evening, customers at a Kmart store 30 miles north in Spanaway found the couple's daughter, Crystal, standing outside the store entrance. Crystal was placed in temporary foster care until her maternal grandmother saw her photograph on a local news broadcast 2 days later. When asked where her mother was, the dazed 2-year-old told her grandma that her mommy was in the trees. According to investigators, the 2-year-old was not verbal enough to provide any information. Not verbally adequate enough. Police searched the area both on foot and by air, looking for evidence of Raymer's red 1982 Plymouth pickup truck, but efforts remained fruitless. On February 18, 1986, over 2 months after the couple's disappearance, the body of Diana Robertson was discovered half buried in snow by a motorist near a logging road off of Washington State Route 7 in Mineral. Bloodhounds scoured the area in the following days, but 6 inches of snowfall impeded the search. Reimer's pickup truck was also found near Robertson's body. In the truck, police discovered a note on the dashboard that read, "I love you, Diana." It was written on a manila envelope. Robertson's mother claimed the handwriting was that of Raymer. Bloodstains were also found in the seat of the truck. An autopsy revealed that Diana Robertson had been stabbed 17 times and, as with Ruth Cooper, was also found with a tube sock tied around her neck. Due to Reimer's disappearance, investigators believe he may have been responsible for Robertson's murder, and he had abandoned his daughter at the Kmart store and then subsequently fled. Police theorized that Reimer may have been responsible for Harkins and Cooper's murders as well. An alternate theory, however, claimed that Reimer was also a victim of the same serial killer who had murdered Robinson, Harkins, and Cooper. So this is still an unsolved case, and the police, this seems more like the police, but it does make sense. He could have dropped his daughter off, killed his wife after he had killed the couples. But it's interesting, because ultimately what could have really happened if this is a serial killer, well, either way it's a serial killer, but if it's a serial killer that's not him, his body could still be out there, just unfound. And the serial killer could have dropped the kid off, or forced the parents to do it, or force him to write that on the manila envelope while they were dropping the kid off before he killed both of them. Very interesting case, never been solved, and yeah, it's really close to where we live, buddy.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, what's crazy about it, Ledger? What's so crazy about it, huh?
About the little girl.
Could be your stepdad, bro. Who knows?
Well,
Could be
the
me.
little girl, the way the little girl described her mom being in the trees,
Yeah.
doesn't sound like it was a person. Like it could have been a predator.
Very interesting.
Like a girl like that, even with trauma, would still say, "Oh, a man did that to mommy."
Right.
Right?
Oh, yeah. 2-year-old? Oh, fuck yeah. Mommy's
Why
in the
would she
trees.
say- Yeah, why would she just jump to saying mommy's in the trees? Unless she didn't,
Weird, right?
unless she didn't witness the whole thing.
Well, let someone tie a tube sock around her neck, put her over a branch, and then, pretty much hang her with a tube sock. I mean, that seems pretty difficult, but I think it'd be a lot easier than a long rope.
Yeah.
So, I have a possibility, or a theory kind of, that I was just thinking about.
Shoot.
So what if all these people, like, typically, you know how they say serial killers, and it being like a certain like area around the certain town? What if there was like some type of government, something that they're hiding from people around in that town, and then more and more people started going out and hiking and then finding it, and then them killing him and then saying that it's a murderer.
Right. Murder and stuff. Yeah, there's so many stories that's connecting it to me. One I just heard the other day about, a mountain guy that saved some girl from a satanic cult from one of the guys. The main guy had snake eyes. He saved him from her out there. I mean, it's weird saying mommy was up in a tree. However, for those listeners out there, if you've made it this far, I'm about to tell Ledger something that's going to make him happy, which is a couple of these are going to actually be mystery as well as crime. Which is even creepier because they're happening right now or have happened recently, and they are unsolved. Does that make you happy, Ledger?
Yeah.
That's one of them. So here's another one, Ledger, that's very interesting. This is called the West Mesa Bone Collector. The West Mesa murders are the killings of 11 women whose remains were found buried in 2009 in the desert of the West Mesa of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Several suspects have been named, but none were arrested or charged. While the killings were initially believed to be the work of a serial killer, the involvement of a sex trafficking ring has been suspected. An anonymous tip to authorities at APD and at the FBI linked the murders to a suspect from Central America. Police have also suspected the involvement of a sex trafficking ring operated through neighboring Texas that targets sex workers during events throughout the Southwest, Southern, and Western United States, especially regularly scheduled events, such as the New Mexico State Fair in this case, to take advantage of reliably heavier traffic. This small fragment of a human trafficking ring involves numerous population centers, including Las Vegas in Nevada, El Paso, and Killeen in Texas, and Denver in Colorado. They were all between the ages of 15 and 32. And that's really close to where the Kylie Rodney situation happened. When it comes to, well, it's in the kind of general area. I mean, she's Northern California, and then it's Las Vegas, but she was like, she's like 2 hours away from Reno. So I'm sure that was in 2009. So I'm sure if it's a successful ring, that because I think that whole case is covering something up that has to do with something like this.
I don't even think Kylie Rodney is real.
Well, she could be, but I think the whole situation is a cover up for something, and I think it goes along the same lines as this. But yeah, they just found 11 women's remains in this one area in the desert, and they were all prostitutes. Like I said, between the age of 15 and 32, and they were thinking it had something to do with the fair that was going on, or certain events like what, like Burning Man, which was happening not too long after Kylie Rodney's disappearance. Very interesting. What do you guys think about that?
Any sacrifices?
That's what I think. If you listen deeply to a lot of these, it starts sounding. And in some that I didn't put in here, they also said that they believe it's sex trafficking rings with also that has to do with satanical ritualistic killings. Yeah.
It could have also been mafia or pimps.
Yeah, but that pimp's not doing very good if he's killing 11 of his hoes. You know what I mean?
Could be the hobbits.
I'm just saying, like, you know, you're ruining your product there, you know? It's like burning your weed, you know, smoking all your crack.
I think it's the hobbits. Yeah. Jay's right, they are real.
Jay's what?
Jay's right, the hobbits are real. It was the hobbits.
Yeah, you know what? It could have been hobbits. It could have been real, Jay. The New
Dang.
Mexico hobbits.
Precious.
Them hobbits.
Precious. I saw a terrible, dirty meme earlier about that.
We have someone else in the meeting.
In what?
The meeting.
Oh, we do. All right, hold on, guys. All right, the next one. This one's called the Highway of Tears Killers. So, while the United States is generally thought of as the serial killer capital of the world, Canada has had its fair share of heinous murders, including more than a few that remain unsolved. Perhaps the most infamous of these is the Highway of Tears in British Columbia, a 450-mile stretch of Highway 16 between Prince George and Prince Rupert that has seen at least 18 and possibly as many as 40 predominantly indigenous women murdered between 1969 and 2011. Given that the murders span almost a 50-year period, it is believed that there have been multiple serial killers along the Highway of Tears, with only one suspect ever being implicated definitely in some way. The DNA of serial killer Bobby Fowler, who died in 2006 while in prison, was discovered on the body of Colleen McMillan, who went missing in 1974. Unfortunately, investigators have concluded that it would have been impossible for Fowler to have committed most of the murders given his movements at the time. So, it is likely that the other killer or killers remain at large. As many as 40 on this highway. And this is a very famous highway called the Highway of Tears, and it's indigenous native women that have been killed. As many as 40. So it's pretty much serial killer highway. And my guess is it's mostly truckers. However, it's terrifying, to tell you the truth, because you're driving along that and people find bodies all the time. Pretty gnarly. So yeah, lots of them are serial killers. Lots of movies have been made about this situation. But yeah, from 1969, so pretty much 1970, 41, 42 years. There's been 40. So one body almost per year.
I think the most concerning portion about all of that is the fact that it's over such a length of time, and they're even with what you just read, like they're not claiming it's one person.
Yeah.
They're that this could technically be like a group of people
Yeah,
doing the same
like
murder.
satanical ritualistic worship
Yeah.
that's been going on for a long time, or some sort of sex trafficking cult.
So that
Right?
makes it a little bit more scary, I would think, because
Terrifying.
like, all these other people that you don't even know are doing this terrible thing exist in the world.
Oh yeah, and it's in Canada, and it's with Indigenous women, and they've been finding like there's schools up there that they've went to and that were shut down, and they're digging up now, and they're finding dozens and dozens of bodies of children underneath the schools and around on the property.
That's terrible.
So is that
Dang.
just them murdering native kids, or is that some sort of place where elitists could go and get their fix of some sort of satanic ritualistic murder? It's very interesting.
Well, the other thing too is like, why do you have to murder indigenous people? Why does that have any sort of like religious belief to help your satanic cult in that sense? You know what I mean? Like that doesn't happen.
I can answer that. It's the same with a lot of serial killers going after, like back in the day, like in the early 1900s. Serial killers all the time like to kill prostitutes, but back then they would kill mainly black prostitutes or black kids or black gay men. And the reason is because it's because the police would throw it off really quickly than if it was a little blonde-haired white girl. They really would.
Went more unnoticed.
Yeah, and so up in Canada, you know, the natives up there in these schools, and they're all in, you know, it's undocumented. It just makes it easier. It's the perfect system. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's also that movie I think it's on Netflix, where Jeremy Renner plays like this dude who goes and investigates the tribal murder of a young woman.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that.
She's the same girl that plays in Yellowstone. And anyway, I've seen that movie twice, and it was either way, it's very sad, but it is also like equally empowering. The concept of doing the right thing, you know?
Right?
And it's all based around the same concept.
Yeah, and a lot of it's true. A lot of it's true. Perfect. On to the next, guys. This one is the Alphabet Killer. So the Alphabet murders occurred in the early 1970s in Rochester, New York. The names of the case and the suspected killer are derived from the fact that the three victims, all young girls, had alliterative first and last names. Carmen Collin, 10, Wanda Walkovich, 11, and Michelle Mainza, 11. Each victim was raped and strangled, and despite numerous promising leads, the New York Alphabet murders have never been conclusively solved. One of the main suspects was Joseph Nazo, who was convicted of 4 similar murders in California. In an eerie twist, one of Nazo's victims was also named Carmen Collin. His DNA, however, did not match samples taken from the New York victims, and he was sentenced to death for the California murders in 2013. So you see why it was called the Alphabet Murders? It was Carmen Collin, Wanda Walkowicz, and Michelle Mainza.
Alliterative.
Yeah, and then this guy got busted. This other guy got busted from someone that was named Carmen Collin as well. In California, not New York, which this kind of makes me think it's the same guy, because I just have a feeling serial killers, if they move or transport or something, they would definitely go to like the opposite of I just feel like that's a thing, like how their brain works. You know what I mean? It's pretty much the same place, just on the other side of the country. You know, you still got the ocean, you still got same kind of setting, same kind of amount of people doing the same kind of shit. However, they said the DNA did not match samples taken from the New York victims. Very interesting. It could be one of those things with like the world and numerology and stuff. Really fucked up. Child killers. What year was this? This was in the 1970s was when it started. He was sentenced to death in 2013. What does it say?
I was just wondering, because like the whole concept of even if he was doing the same thing but like in another area, you know what I mean, like that. Right. The knowledge of what serial killers are doing at that point does matter, you know.
Which we're switching, and I know this one's before, because I like to bring up like the new ones. This one was a little further back. There's some that are really good that were a little bit further back, but I'm like, they'd be like in their 70s, which I still got away, but this is supposed to be more like a kind of like a eerie kind of situation with this podcast this time, because it's like these people could literally be living right next to you and they could be dangerous.
Well, and even back then too, like The Exorcist #3 with Brad Dourif and the Gemini Killer. You know what I mean? Like, he was technically possessed.
Right.
And,
you
never know that doesn't transcend beyond decades or whatever. Even if that is just a scary movie.
Mm-hmm. And I was watching the new Jeffrey Dahmer episodes on Netflix.
Yeah, I want to get into that. Watch those.
I was watching those last night. Absolutely insane. It's crazy. And I originally today was going to go into that. I was going to do this as a Jeffrey Dahmer entire podcast. I decided not to, on the fact that I didn't want to drag you guys through it.
Well, it sounds like
we can do it.
Yeah, this guy, I mean, he's watched part of it too. How many episodes are you in?
Me?
No. Just spoke.
Ledger. I think he said he wants to get into it.
No, yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
It's
really?
Really good. And it's
apparently like people are getting all tripped out and like not, it's making them feel weird and stuff. And I get, because I have seen like 4 or 5 episodes, but like,
I've been watching this over the past couple of years.
I want to know this, like the insight.
Well, it's the insight, but the way that they make these movies, it's almost like MK Ultra mind control. Like I keep seeing them make these murder movies or based on serial killer movies, and if you don't have a strong foothold on your mentality, these shows are absolutely glorifying it.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's almost like they're trying to make more serial killers in this day and age.
Exactly. Like,
right? Did you get that?
You don't
feeling
know
from
who
it?
You are. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I knew doing a Jeffrey Dahmer one right now would go big because that's the new one that's out, you know, and the last one was Ted Bundy. But even that one was glorified. You know what I mean? They're having good looking dudes play these guys and they're making it all almost romanticized. It's still murder. He's still eating people. It's still fucked up. Yeah. But it's almost making people be like, I want to be that superhero in this movie. And I'm like, this is fucked. This is fucked.
That's still a classic argument, though, about anything having to do with serial killers. Because if you ever make a movie about them, or if you give them any sort of like news page presence,
that's why they made it illegal for them to make money on it.
Exactly. Like,
however, look at it this way too. This is the angle I'm coming at, is that a serial killer, no matter who it is, a serial killer, doesn't matter what they've done, they will have a dozen or 24 women at their trial, at their case, at their trials, holding up signs, I love you, flashing titties, like, and it makes no sense. So think about that back in the 70s when it was only broadcasted on the 3rd channel of your TV, right? And now they're making huge documentaries with, you know, beautiful superstars playing the main lead as a character. How many women out there are now those girls instead of a dozen or 2? How many men are stepping into that face and starting to think like, I could be like that, you know? Weird. It's trippy. I mean, if you don't, I mean, I've done a lot. I watch every serial killer thing on the planet. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I love the stuff. I love the mentality behind it. I like to see the correlations. I like to see where they fucked up, how they died, how they did their stuff. But I mean, you really look at it with mental illness on the rise, man. It's scary that they're doing this, and it's on Netflix, which is one of the biggest, you know, MK Ultra kind of machines out there, right?
I wonder if these women that's watching it and get into it have kids and they imprint that type of mentality onto those kids.
They could. Or how easy do women manipulate their boyfriends, right?
Or that, yeah.
People kill for women, or men kill for women all the time. I mean, men kill women because they can't kill for them all the time too. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, women kill people. I mean, there's this crazy, astounding amount of women serial killers. When you look at the statistics, there's quite a bit of them. You wouldn't think so. So my correlation after watching that last night was I was trying to see, I was like, damn, I didn't know Jeffrey Dahmer was in the military. He got kicked out, but I didn't know he was in it. So I go to look, and there's only 19% of serial killers were in the military. However, that's kind of a substantial amount to a point. You know what I mean? Is 19% of the general population in the military? I don't know. Because I was thinking in the 70s, I was like, why was there so many in the 70s? It had something to do with MK Ultra. It most certainly did.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, was that done in the military? But it's starting to look like it may have happened in the military, but most certainly it happened outside of it a lot more. So it had to have been TV or something. Because why in the 70s would so many serial killers exist? Like I said earlier, there was a lot more back then than there are now. There's 4,000 now. Why was there so many back then? And they try to bring it up about the Vietnam War and stuff. But if these people weren't in the war, what caused that? Broken families? That's one thing to have is like fucked up mothers, fucked up fathers, absent or not, molestation, rape.
Well, during the Vietnam War, I'm pretty sure they were experimenting on LSD, giving it to the soldiers.
Manufactured. Well, it was given out in the party scenes too.
Yeah.
That's right before the crack epidemic.
Yeah, you know what else? Kind of goes back to a podcast when we were doing the witches. Energy could be.
Energy.
Be with because
you're talking about the bread?
LSD, and that they say it like opens up your third eye. Am I right?
Gotcha. You're not talking about the millions of people grouping up together to do sex, violence, drugs, rock
Definitely
and roll, creating the energy to fucking, I get it, dude. No, you're right. You're hitting on that. Giant fucking rituals, drug-induced rituals, the sex magic, energy, violence, whatever it was. You're right. Holy shit. Pleasure. Good job.
Was right.
You're gonna have to dive into that. All right, guys. So the next one is the Jeff Davis 8 killers. 8 killers. So between 2005 and 2009, the bodies of 8 women between the ages of 17 and 30 were found dumped in the swamps of Jefferson Davis Parish near Jennings, Louisiana. Interestingly, the victims had several things in common. Several of them knew each other. One pair of victims even being cousins. Perhaps more bizarrely was that all of the victims acted as police informants, several of whom actually reported on other Jeff Davis victims before their own murders. So they actually snitched on other people that were killed before their own murders. The investigation into murders of the Jeff Davis 8 never identified a legitimate suspect, but it led to wild allegations of misconduct amongst Louisiana police. Muddling the case further, an investigative reporter later stated the person or people responsible for these killings were most likely part of law enforcement. Given each victim's history, this isn't too implausible. The fact that the perpetrator or perpetrators could be investigating their own crimes makes the Jeff Davis 8 a particularly disturbing case. So 8 girls were snitches, telling on other people or each other, and they all ended up getting murdered.
This sounds like a Jack Reacher episode.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've watched that before. Care to explain?
Jack Reacher? It's on Amazon Prime. Tom Cruise also played him. Basically, he's a retired military investigator. Once he got out of the military, he was the season on Amazon Prime. He was investigating his brother's death in a small town.
This sounds so familiar. I don't know. I might have watched this. I can't remember if I have or not. But yeah, very weird. So 8 girls that were all snitches, it seemed, or most of them, that all knew each other, had snitched on each other, or were in fact related, were murdered. No witnesses, no statements, no anything. It looks like it's police. However, we're talking about 8 females around, 17 to 30. That's in that group again. This could also be on the version of satanic ritualistic abuse or human trafficking, boys.
Well, it encompasses everything though too, because of like the concept that somebody who is in law enforcement is able to manipulate the system to not be caught.
Right.
You know what I mean? And also, like, that would make the perfect cover for somebody who's trying to be involved with the satanic cult, or at least is basically like Deep Wang or whatever, like that joke. You know what I mean? Like, they can really. You can genuinely just be a regular person and be manipulated by a cult into a position of power, and that's your goal.
Yeah, I agree with that entirely. And like I like to say, predators for children. They always find jobs, right? They always find jobs of power around children. So in a cult like that, in some sort of, cult like that, they would find jobs around, accessibility, power, being able to cover up, being able to dissuade, convince, move. And depending on the higher power of who this is going to, there's an unlimited amount of money and friction and push against finding out. There's tons of it. So yeah, being a police officer is one thing, but let's say the chief of police or the head of police or the guy that hired, or that runs the money through that, or maybe they're all in it together. All of it. I mean, just anyone of power. They could all be bought. And that's a sick thing. Most people have $1. I mean, they say that everyone has a dollar number. Being from an area like that, it could be a thing. It could be, and the sick thing is it could be a generational thing. It could be someone's grandson that's doing it, and their son was doing it. Now his son is doing it. And it could be multiple families. And I mean, a religious cult, dude, is a religious cult.
Like, you're talking about the generational concept of that. And that makes so much sense, because you could actually stamp out racism. You can also stamp out a certain, like, learned behavior within one, maybe 2 generations. You know what I mean? Because imagine if the world ended and there was no access to the internet, but you had a child and you spent that entire time with that child not teaching them English. It would be that one generation that it took for that child not to know English. You know what I mean? It's as simple as what's being taught and how quickly it can disappear.
Like, evil's taught. Evil things are taught, because even as a child, they might hit each other and stuff. But when you grow up, you realize you don't like being hit.
Yeah.
So you don't want to hit somebody because they could hit you back. And that's, right? And that seems like a normal, natural, learned kind of thing. But it takes going, no, you need to hit that person 10 times and then they won't be able to hit you.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So it's a learned subject. I mean, people want to hear this and go, satanic cult, sex trafficking, and they don't realize this shit has been going on forever.
Well, basically, we are as close to being an uneducated society as we have ever been, just because.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
It only matters what you choose to, like, educate your youth on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and look at what they're doing in schools today. Yeah, your passing score is a D.
Yeah. It's like what is that? Like 60%?
It's college credit. You can't get you can't have a D for to go to college, but you can have a D to get your diploma.
Well, you can go to college. Here we are, back to the next one, guys. The smiley face killers. 45 college-age males across a 20-year span, all drowned after getting intoxicated. Dun, dun, dun. However, the kicker is that these drownings happened in 11 different states. Despite the distance between them, some detectives think that drownings are actually the work of a serial killer or group of serial killers. This is dubbed the smiley face murder theory. Allegedly, detectives claim that smiley faces have been found near the sites where at least 12 of the men have been drowned. It's believed that these men are abducted, murdered, and then disposed of in bodies of water to give the impression of accidental drowning. It's definitely a stretch to connect the murders, but they have a few things in common. Firstly, date rape drugs were found in their system, that's GHB, of some of the victims, enough to render them completely unconscious. The victim profile is very similar in every case: male, white, athletic, successful, and popular. Lastly is the condition of the bodies. One victim had been missing for 40 days, but the deterioration of his corpse was nowhere near consistent with someone who had been in the water for 6 weeks. This was also the case for multiple other victims. So, guys, this actually falls into the missing 411 theories. On this, a lot of these kids go missing. Listen to this. So they go missing, right? Missing 411, missing. They're gone and for a lot of days, and then they are found in the water, but their body does not match how long they would be in the water, and they have GHB in their system. Jay, Ledger, Thomas, if you guys know any of what we've covered on the missing 411 or anything about it, tell me what you think right now.
That could definitely be a possibility, especially wait, what was that called that was in their system?
It's GHB. It's the date rape drug, but your body makes it naturally. So your body makes that naturally. So the idea of missing 411 is that there's somehow some sort of cryptid or being or person that can cause your body to make that naturally. And so all of a sudden you're like falling over, you're losing vision, you're passing out, and all of a sudden you're in the middle of a swamp with your ankles sticking up and there's no mud on your fucking socks.
No, I mean, clearly though, in that situation, especially with how many people went missing at that point, it wasn't a naturally occurring thing. You know what I mean? Like, somebody didn't sniff out these people for their chemical compound to create GHB. They gave them GHB.
Yeah, no, and it's not their chemical compound. It's like they have a weapon, or it's almost like fear induced. Like if they could create like some sort of cryptid could look at you, hit your brain.
Hydrochloride from Dexter.
Yeah.
Or like how Sasquatch can talk to you, can do the what's that called? The
technique.
What was it, Jay? Hold on.
Mind speak.
Mind speak. Mind speak, where they can talk to you telepathically.
That
almost.
might be really real though. Huh.
If they could hype that up to make a part of your brain start overproducing a certain amount of GHB that you literally fall unconscious.
Damn.
They do whatever they do to you, and then you're all of a sudden float. Yeah, all of a sudden you're floating in a river. I mean, this could be aliens, this could be cryptids, this could be a serial killer, right? Yeah.
It's amazing how like even fucking frequencies of noise can affect a person, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. It could be the government as well. You are absolutely right.
That's why people like certain types of music, is because the frequencies of it too.
Like it's
well, you know, 40 years ago they changed the frequencies of recordings for audio, and the frequencies they dropped them to are like super negative, like the way they influence your body and mind.
I hope not.
You guys should dive into that. We might bring that up. Yeah, it is. So it's not. I
want to be upset about that.
What it is it's an unnatural frequency that they now play music at. So before they could record you and it was all natural frequencies and like your body could take it right. Well, now it's like artificial, and it's not a natural frequency that your body responds to. Your cells. It's literally your cells inside your body that don't, in your energy, because we're all energy beings, but all of it is unnatural. And now that every time you turn on the radio, you turn on music on your phone, like the frequency is playing at, or even at concerts, is unnatural.
That's why I don't like treble. There's too much treble for most of it.
There's something. It's the frequency of it. It's crazy.
Which I don't understand how you can change sound like that, you know, in a major way, so it affects everybody like that. Because different people make different music at different frequencies.
Yeah.
So it's not really the noise. Thomas could actually explain this way better than I can.
What?
With frequencies and music. I'm sure you know.
I only play music.
You only play music you don't know about?
I have no. I just don't ever want to. Other than my own opinion, I don't think that I have some sort of science concept to it.
Right. So
You know?
it's through the speakers, you guys. So music is played through the speakers, and then there's different frequencies you can play through those speakers at different levels. It still sounds the same. It's just the different frequencies. Think of it like bass, the amount of like, but it's a vibrational frequency.
Yeah.
So if those aren't mathematically correct, as in a organic culture, they're unnatural, and that's how they play music at now. All music is being pushed out of your phone, out of your computer, out of everything unnaturally, instead of being just a couple different, levels of frequency. Like, that would be more organic than not. What do you think about that, Jay?
I believe it.
I believe
those
fucker.
audio what are they called? Audio files?
Yeah.
Audio files.
There you go. Here we go.
They're like those sounds, and the sound has to be like crisp and stuff.
Yeah.
When they listen to music, who like if they're listening it in that fashion where it has to be like crisp sound, and they're listening to every single detail of the sound that's coming in, regular people won't notice it. They'll just in general listen to the sound, right?
Mhm.
And if you think about it, if no one's paying attention, you could pump out any kind of in people's minds.
For real. And I mean, we're seeing it today with everything. All of it.
So
I mean, everything's producing that frequency. Any frequency they want. Go ahead.
Well, it's funny too, though, because in the concept of the audio file, where that person pays attention more to the sound of music or tones or whatever, like they would be more susceptible to, I'm not going to say the government, but whoever decides to play a certain tone or whatever, and the audio file receives it more emphatically than a regular person. You know what I mean? So it's, at the same time too, even though they're more tuned to it, they could also be more susceptible, and that sucks because you just want to enjoy music.
Right.
Yeah.
It could just be manipulation. Like that you're more vulnerable for some sort of like pushing this way or that way level of thinking.
It's brain manipulation based on frequency.
Exactly. You just fucking said it, my brother.
Yeah,
that's dope. So we got I know I talked about Canada earlier. I kind of fucked up. All right. But here's two actual international serial killers from around the globe. It's really short. We're going to get into it real quick. This one's called the vending machine killer. Anyone got any guesses?
No.
The Cabivela hotels.
He jumps out of the vending machine.
I would say WWE.
I fucking love you guys. All right. So Japan's infatuation with vending machines is widely acknowledged. There are 5 million vending machines across the country, making an average of one vending machine per every 23 people. Those people are addicted to vending machines. Damn. All right. So between April and November of 1985, in Hiroshima, 12 people were killed as a result of a paraquat poisoning, and a further 35 were seriously injured. When authorities looked into the circumstances surrounding these poisonings, they found that most of the victims had one thing in common. They recently consumed the drink Oronamin-C. Around the same time, the company behind Oronamin-C had launched a marketing campaign offering free bottles of the drink from vending machines whenever someone made a purchase. In Japanese culture, sometimes people will place the Oronamin-C drink on top of the vending machine for someone else to take if they didn't want it themselves. Police soon pieced things together and found that someone had been lacing these Oronamin-C drinks with paraquat and placing them back on top of the vending machine. It was almost impossible for the police to track down the person responsible, since it was difficult to narrow down where a person had originally picked up the drink. Most of the vending machines responsible were in quiet back streets with no CCTV around. The person who carried out the poisonings was never found. How fucked up is that?
Very.
Yeah.
All right, guys, and the last one is called the Maniac with Dull Eyes. Also known, now I'm going to let you know before this, I'm about to slaughter a bunch of Russian words that I've never fucking heard before. Also known as the Danilovsky Maniac, the Maniac with the Dull Eyes was a Russian serial killer responsible for at least 7 murders between 2004 and 2007. Over in Cherpovets, Vologda Oblast, Russia, various bodies were found around the city, dumped in construction sites and in abandoned buildings. All of his victims were women between the ages of 17 to 31. They had all been raped prior to their slaughter. Perhaps most creepily, however, is that with each scene, the killer left a calling card. Police found crude pornographic drawings on the walls near where every body was found. After establishing that a serial killer was likely responsible for these 7 murders, police also linked the maniac with a series of murders dating back to 1999. He was also suspected in the murder of a young woman in 2010. His total assumed victim count is 17. The maniac was never caught and probably still remains out there today. So there you go, boys, Russian serial killer.
I thought he was gonna say that he left jizz on the crime scene.
He probably did a lot of it. Probably a lot. 17 of them. There was a lot of jizz and a lot of vodka.
And a lot of bears.
Those damn Russians.
Russia. In Soviet.
So thank you, everybody, for coming to the Collective Minds podcast. This is episode Dirty 39. We are